There's a sad truth about your life in ministry, that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you serve and sacrifice for your church, no matter what you do, no one will really know how much you've done, and no one will fully be able to appreciate what you and your family have given and sacrificed for your community. This is a cost of doing ministry. You will not be fully appreciated. For Jesus, this came in the form of people seeking him out for what they wanted from him. And when they got it, some of them went their own way. They ignored Jesus, disobeyed Jesus, and abandoned Jesus. Has that ever happened to you? You pour out service and love to a person or a whole family and have them move on to greener pastures when they've exhausted what you have to give them. It can be really painful. It feels like you're being taken for granted, or much worse. Now, there's a reason that you'll never really fully be appreciated, and that's because the most important work you do goes unseen. It's the invisible work of God in your inner life. It's the small, anonymous, daily yeses that you say to Jesus. It's the things you do to build and maintain your character towards protecting your purity and your piety. No one sees the hidden, slow work of study, prayer, discipline, and love that go into the preparation of a sermon, or the planning of a service, and being emotionally and spiritually ready to celebrate the Eucharist or baptize a child, or even visit someone in the hospital. All of us have some kind of public ministry, but what makes us good at what we do is done in quiet, the private places of our lives. And Jesus knows what this is like. He was never fully appreciated in his life and ministry. I also want you to remember in Mark 6, Jesus is in Nazareth, in his hometown, where people had gotten to know him. Their familiarity with him made it impossible for them to believe he had the words of life or the power to work any miracle in their life. This is true for us too. Familiarity with you sometimes makes you a less appealing pastor than the celebrity down the street who's unknown by all but reputation. How many times has it happened to you and to me that someone comes to our office or home excited about the advice they got in passing from a leader at a conference or a celebrity podcast? It's like a revelation has hit them and their life seems to be changed, or so they think. Yet it's the same advice that you've been offering for years. It's so frustrating, right? In some those times, I just have to work to be happy that they're finally getting it. And without proper self-leadership, all of this can make us really sad, and worse, it can make us a little jealous. Now, how do you know you might be in danger in territory here, in jealousy? When you start having escapist fantasies about your going away party and all the nice things folks will say, that's a dead giveaway. You might be in danger. And for some of us, that danger sign is when we realize we've said yes to too many opportunities to do public ministry, but to the detriment of our body's capacity to keep up. So what's the antidote to our jealousies? More faithfulness to the little things, the small daily yeses that set our hearts and minds and bodies in the direction of Jesus. Get your journal out. Take a prayer walk. Call a friend and confess your hurt, your sorrow, and your jealousy of others. Now, in verse 8, the first 8 verses of Matthew chapter 6, Jesus is teaching about our lives that we are sometimes tempted to live in public. And in these short examples of giving and prayer, he uses the same phrase 2 times, not once, twice. Your Father, who sees what's done in secret, will reward you. Friends, Jesus sees you. He sees what you've done in secret. Jesus himself will appreciate you. I pray that you can learn to lean into his love and his delight over you this week. And I hope and pray that this week's reflections are a gift to you in your relationship to God.